Fortunately, we have a special recipe with us today, and this is known as Tanchot. This is a type of soup which is eaten by the Ejagan people of Cameroon, and as someone from that tribe, I am going to show you guys how to cook it. So let us begin. For our very first ingredient, we'll need a goosey, also known as melon seeds. So you're going to set your goosey aside. For our very second ingredient, we'll need Njangsang, and we'll equally need bush pepper. Bush pepper is definitely the aroma you need for tanchot soup, and Njangsang will be used in a small quantity. Thirdly, we'll need this kind of pepper. Here in Cameroon, some people call it eru pepper. It is small but very hot. We'll need some sliced tanchot leaves. Subsequently, I'll show you guys the leaves as a whole so you see how it looks. Now we equally need ogbono. This will help with the drawness of the soup. I know that another name for this is bush mango. I am just checking to see if my ogbono is dry enough so it is going to be easy to grind it. Now over to this pepper. It is hot. It is small pepper. Now this is our Njangsang which we have grind, so we are going to set it aside. We equally have scotch bonnet, and this is optional. You can choose whichever pepper to go with. Now we equally need some palm oil, also known as red oil. This is how tanchot leaves look. This is how it looks without being sliced, and once it is sliced, this is how it looks. So we are going to proceed to wash it and let it sit in the colander to drain out the excess water from it. So this is it. Set it aside. This is our egusi, and we are equally just going to set our egusi aside. This is our ogbono, and we are going to set it aside. We equally have some crayfish, and in it we have pounded some pepper, and we are going to set it aside. We have some seasoning cubes, some salt, and for my seasoning cubes I have two kinds. Now we equally have some onions, sliced onions to be precise. We have some meat. I will not be using all of these. I am just going to wash it and then set some aside, which will be enough for my soup. So here is a quantity, and I have some dried fish, kuta, and I'm going to set it aside. Whichever protein you use depends on you. Now I equally have cow skin, and in my pot I'm going to add my washed cow skin, add some water, and then some salt and some onions, and I'm equally just going to let it boil. Thereafter I'm going to add my meat and let it boil as well. The reason why cow skin is set to boil before meat is because it takes longer to cook. So in most cases, it is always the one which goes first. I'm going to add my fish as well, and then I'm just cutting them into smaller chunks. So this is it, and I'm going to season with some Maggi cube because I've already added salt, and I'm going to mix properly so every single part of this pot has enough seasoning. Into my goosey, I am going to add some seasoning cubes, some salt, add some water, and then give it a good mix. Now we are not going to make it form a runny paste, else it's not going to be able to hold. When you eat tanchot soup, in most cases you realize that you find very large lumps of egusi. This is how it is done. When you mix the paste, it has to remain somewhat thick, and then you're going to scoop it in small balls into the pot. Now this is so that the heat is going to cook it, and now when egusi comes in contact with heat, it starts to form, and that is a good thing. So this is after 5 minutes, and this is what it is looking like. It is not yet ready. 15 minutes later, and this is how the pot looks. From time to time you add little water, and make sure to send your spoon underneath the pot so the egusi does not burn. Now you're going to add water, add Njangsang, and then you're equally going to add crayfish. After that is done, you're going to give it a good mix, just as I am doing. Now the water added is to make sure that the egusi cooks well. Please stir gently when mixing everything together so you do not scatter the egusi lumps. After this, we are going to add ogbono, which we have already grind, and we are just going to mix the ogbono with little warm water and then add to the pot. The reason why ogbono is mixed with warm water is because warm water helps dissolve the lumps quicker, and so we are just going to add it. Thereafter, add our bush pepper and our pepper which we have blended, and then we are going to give this a good mix. Now when you add your ogbono to the pot, everything is coming together. You're going to adjust seasonings and then proceed to add palm oil. So this is going to cook alongside every other part of this soup. So when you add your palm oil at this point, just mix, and can you see when it cooks properly, this is how it's going to look. Can you see some of the egusi lumps in the pot? Now this tancho soup is coming together, and so once it is ready like this, we are going to add some pepper, adjust our seasonings again, and then proceed to add our tanchot leaves. Remember, we have already washed them, so we are just going to add them bit by bit. Now tanchot leaves provide the aroma which turns this soup automatically to tanchot soup. So there's no tanchot soup without tanchot leaves, be it dry tanchot leaves, be it fresh. Tanchot leaves must be found in tanchot soup. Well, that's how far I know, because the flavor that these leaves add to this pot of soup, it is undisputable. I probably cannot explain to you. Now you're going to let it cook so the leaves soften a little, and so we are going to throw in some pepper. Now this is optional. We are throwing in pepper. I've said this several times because the members of this house do not eat pepper like that. So after adding all of that small pepper, the pot of soup was not still hot. Now this is what we have, and we'll be eating it with gari. Now personally, I eat tanchot soup with pounded yam. Yes, that is the best way I can explain it, and I can eat it, and I can experience it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you again for watching. Bye.